Coming up on DITV, we give you the latest update on an Iowa City shooting.
And later, we give you the updates on a pending University of Iowa lawsuit.
We have highlights from Iowa's first football game of the season.
And we have more from head coach Kirk Ferentz's record-breaking win.
A week full of rainy skies never hurt anyone, right? Stay tuned for weather.
All that and more coming up on this Tuesday morning edition of DITV.
Don't click away, it all starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Becca Scadden.
And I'm Anthony Caliguri. We start this morning with some news of someone being shot at the former Sycamore Mall, now known as the Iowa City Marketplace.
Authorities were called to the marketplace at about 4 p.m. yesterday for reports of shots fired outside of the building. Officers discovered shell casings and bullets.
Authorities have not yet discovered any evidence that the shooter was aiming for someone specific. As of now, interviews are being conducted with anyone who may have been connected to the shooting. For the last week, we have been introducing you to the candidates running for the Iowa City City Council special primary elections. The polls officially opened today, and DITV News reporter Noah Gowdy is standing by at one of the polling stations in Iowa City. Noah?
Thanks, guys. I am here in front of the Iowa City Community School District's main office on North Dodge Street. Well, they'll be serving as one of 24 different locations for today's Iowa City City Council special primary elections. Now, voting did open up earlier this morning at 7 a.m. and it will continue throughout the day until 8 p.m. tonight. Those of you who are planning on voting in today's election will need to bring a valid form of identification, such as your voter ID card, an Iowa driver's license, or a U.S. passport.
Lookup section on the Secretary of State's website has incorrectly directed voters to a polling place. Voters in Precinct 13 will vote at Prairie Hill Co-Housing Common House at 140 Prairie Hill Lane. It will not take place at Hawks Ridge Apartments as listed on the website. Voters in Iowa City Precinct 18 will return to voting at Longfellow Elementary rather than Kirkwood Avenue Church of Christ. All voters were sent updated registration cards in August notifying them of this change.
In wake of recent events, Molly Tippett is still touching the lives of those she met through student organizations. Tippett was a direct service advocate for RVAP, an organization that aims to prevent sexual violence through consent-based education. She was trained to provide crisis counseling to survivors in the hospital. Tippett was also a part of Dance Marathon. Rhonda McCoy, the mother of the family that Tippett's Dance Marathon family was assigned to, said, "Molly holds a very special spot in our hearts. Her smile, her willingness to hold a little girl that is really too big to be held, her loving them and making them feel like $1 million superstar for a few hours. My daughter needed that in a big way." To find out more about Molly Tippett's involvement in student organizations, you can check out Sophie Caro's story in today's print edition of the Daily Iowan.
Last week, a protest was held regarding a University of Iowa lecturer. It's been announced that that lecturer will not teach this fall following accusations that led to a 6-month ban from UI campus recreation buildings. Jeffrey Knock was hired in 2012 as an adjunct lecturer for the College of Business. In April, he received a warning regarding criminal trespass and harassment. Knock was accused of taking pictures of women working out at the recreation center. While Knock is not teaching, he is said to still be being paid his $800,000 yearly salary.
In 2014, the University of Iowa Friends Without Borders organization was created to pair up students from international countries with students from the States. Freshman students were paired up to help both students discover campus for the first time, but since the creation of Friends Without Borders, they have faced the challenge of unequal gender enrollment. The organization is currently striving to be more inviting to all age groups, as well as increase members and balance out the gender ratio for new academic year. To learn more about this, check out Elizabeth Starr's story at daily-iowan.com.
The University of Iowa Counseling Service is in collaboration with University Housing and Dining, as well as the Rape Victim Advocacy Program, to create the Hawkeye Allies program. Last spring, the program was created to develop peer-to-peer support for survivors of sexual assault. Hawkeye Allies provides educational training that informs participants on how to be compassionate and confident when responding to sexual assault survivors and help guide them to the appropriate resources. Currently, the program is solely focused on students living within residence halls, but the program is open to growing if there is a need for off-campus students.
Well, Becca, this past week has been kind of all over the place in weather. I mean, last week we saw those tornado warnings, and this week it doesn't look like it's getting much better.
Yeah, absolutely, Anthony. I was hoping for some good weather this week, but after all that rain last night, I'm not too hopeful. But let's toss over to Kennedy in the weather studio. Hopefully she has some better news for us. Kennedy?
Guys, rain, as defined by Merriam-Webster, is moisture condensed from the atmosphere that falls visibly in separate drops. Well, they could simplify that definition into 2 words: Iowa City. That's right, guys. We're facing another week full of moist skies and humid temperatures. Today, we will see a high of 87 degrees with a 40% chance of rain. Throughout the day, the humidity for the day will break a solid 77%. Taking a look at tonight's forecast, we will get a cool temperature of 71 degrees and a 90% chance of rain. Concerned that the rest of the week will bring sunny skies and breezy temperatures? Well, you shouldn't be. Taking a look into our extended forecast, we will see a 90% chance of rain. Tomorrow, with a high of 75 degrees and low of 62 degrees with scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. Thursday brings us a high of 70 degrees with a 60% chance of rain and a low of 60 degrees at night. And to top off our dewy 5-day forecast, we will get mild temperatures in the high 60s on Saturday with the 60% chance of rain ending the night in the low 60s. So warm temperatures paired with damp skies, quite the juicy contradiction. See you guys next week. Back to you at the desk.
With new buildings on campus, the university has faced some major financial issues.
With more on a lawsuit concerning the university and Modern Piping Inc., we have DITV News reporter John Chenoweth in the newsroom. John, what can you tell us?
Good morning, guys. For about a year, the University of Iowa has delayed payment to a contractor who's owed millions of dollars for their work on the UI Stead Family Children's Hospital and Hancher Auditorium. A court order has been filed by the contractor Modern Piping for $21.5 million to be paid to them by the university. The University of Iowa has hinted that they will attempt to appeal the court order and has asked the judge to stop such a payment for the time being, as it would harm the Iowa Board of Regents and cause financial hardship. The court order alleges that the UI Stead Family Children's Hospital had thousands of design changes, numerous instances of poor communication, underestimates for budget goals, important deadlines were missed, and supposedly its opening was delayed because of these hardships. It's important to note that the original estimated cost for the Children's Hospital was supposed to be $270.8 million, but the actual cost ended up being $360 million, which means that the University of Iowa went over budget by about $90 million. The lawsuit is ongoing and more information will become available in the near future. Guys, that's all I've got for you this morning.
Yesterday, the athletic company Nike released a compelling new ad featuring former NFL star Colin Kaepernick, who in 2016 first kneeled for the national anthem to bring attention to police brutality in America. Kaepernick faced backlash and has not yet been drafted back into the NFL. For the 30th anniversary of the Just Do It campaign, the ad reads, "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. #JustDoIt." The ad comes in timely fashion as Kaepernick is currently in a lawsuit against the NFL, alleging owners have worked together to force him out of the league. Well, Anthony, it seems like that's something we're going to have to keep up with this football season, but I, for one, am excited for Iowa State this weekend.
Yes, Becca. I mean, last week's game was awesome. I mean, we didn't know what was going to happen, but I think Iowa State's going to really be a nice game to see. So let's toss it over to Kim and Natalie in the sports studio to see what they have to say. Guys?
Thanks, guys. Kim, it was so great to be back in Kinnick this weekend.
Yeah, Natalie, I agree. The Hawkeye win wasn't too bad either.
The Hawks kicked off their season this weekend when they faced Northern Illinois here in Iowa City.
The game got off to a slow start for the Hawkeye offense, only scoring 3 points in the first half.
But the Iowa defense made up for this game with 5 sacks and 1 interception, including this one by Amani Hooker.
But after halftime, the Iowa offense clicked, scoring 30 straight points that started with this Noah Fant touchdown in the third quarter.
The Hawks kept it going with another touchdown from running back Ivory Kelly Martin.
And from that point on, it was all Iowa as the Hawks took this game 33-3. Here's what the players and head coach Kirk Ferentz had to say following the first one of the season.
We came up with some critical plays in critical situations, mostly the defense in that first half, to keep us in the game. And I think the other thing I'm optimistic about, a lot of the stuff that we saw involved guys that haven't played a lot or things that hopefully we can get cleaned up.
That first half I don't feel like it exemplifies anything about our offense or anything like that. Just one of those things. The first game we had to keep grinding through it, keep pressing through it, and we know that that's not something that we want. Is not putting the ball in the end zone in the first half.
We just kind of complimentary football, kind of grind it out until something breaks free. So that's what we tried to do, and we tried to give the offense as much as we possibly could and give them the best field position, and they broke through and scored some points.
But the win for the Hawks was not the only thing the football team had to celebrate on Saturday.
Head coach Kirk Ferentz rewrote the history books, becoming the winningest coach in program history. With more is DITV sports director Bo Bowman.
20 seasons. He's another father figure out there. 2, Big Ten title.
Second to none.
144 victories.
He's my coach.
All leading up to one moment.
Nothing ever comes easy.
The moment Iowa football's head coach Kirk Ferentz became the winningest head coach in program history.
But as we all know, Kirk's not one to take credit for himself and underplayed the milestone altogether.
But it takes a lot of things to go right, and it takes a lot of people. The administration here, the leadership from our athletic directors. I mean, 3 athletic directors in 70. So, it's a big picture.
Leading up to the big win, Ferentz and the team tried their best not to think about it.
It was always in the back of our head, but that wasn't our main focus all week. We were more focused on our opponent.
But after that 33-7 victory over Northern Illinois,
I think our coaches set us up for a great success.
They couldn't help but celebrate.
Maybe a little extra ice cream tonight, you never know. So we'll really cut it loose.
Because from here on out, each win breaks the record again.
He means a lot to everybody.
And again.
I think it's a pretty special thing for us.
And again.
We play for Coach Ferentz.
Just really happy about it. And, so it's all good. It was a good day for us.
From Kinnick Stadium, Bo Bowman, DITV Sports.
And the football team looks to get Ferentz's 145th win this Saturday against the Iowa State Cyclones here in Iowa City.
Football wasn't the only team in action this weekend.
On Friday, the 20th ranked Iowa field hockey team shut out Ball State 6-0 with a hat trick from Katie Birch.
And on Sunday, the Hawks defeated Ball State 7-1 with another hat trick, but this time from Sophie Sunderland.
The field hockey team is now at 3-1 on the season and will be back in action this weekend when they travel to New Hampshire.
The soccer team hosted the Hawkeye Invitational this past weekend.
On Friday, the Hawks defeated Central Michigan 3-1 with 2 goals from Natalie Winters.
And on Sunday, Iowa took the tournament title with a 2-0 victory over VCU to remain undefeated on the season.
Soccer will travel to Ames this weekend to face Iowa State as part of their Cyclock series.
That's it from us here in the sports studio, but come back tomorrow for more on football's win over NIU this weekend.
And hear more from the Iowa football team on their upcoming game against Iowa State. Becca and Anthony, back to you.
Thanks, guys. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has pledged $460 million to help schools in some of the worst areas in the country.
As of Monday, the Gates Foundation has already donated $100 million for 19 programs at middle schools and high schools across 13 states. Over the next 5 years, Gates is planning to fund school programs that help low-income and minority students go to college. Gates implemented funding to gain research to understanding of what it takes to send a student to earn a higher education, as well as the resources needed to gain beneficial academic skills.
And that's all we have for you on this Tuesday morning edition of DITV.
Be sure to head over to daily-iowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday.
And if that isn't enough for the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out our print edition of the news on stands now. For DITV News, I'm Anthony Caliguri.
And I'm Becca Scadden. Have a great day, Iowa City, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place.